Good morning or good afternoon. Today we're beginning our unit on graphing linear functions. Please open your notebooks to page 54 and follow along and record. And feel free to pause the video at any time as needed. Number one, we're going to graph the function f of x equals 3x minus 7. So what we want to do is find several points that are on the graph of 3x minus 7. So I want to use values of x that are negative, I want to use 0, and I want to use some positive values. So I started with negative 2. So I'm going to find f of negative 2. So if I put negative 2 in for x, what do we get out for f of x? So 3 times negative 2, I do the multiplying first, and I get negative 6. Then I subtract. Negative 6 minus 7 gives me negative 13. Next, I'm going to evaluate the function for x being negative 1. So f of negative 1, I multiply 3 times negative 1 to get negative 3. Negative 3 subtract 7 gives us negative 10. Next, I used 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 subtract 7 gives us negative 7. And f of 1, 3 times 1 gives us 3. 3 subtract 7 gives us negative 4. F of 2, 3 times 2 gives us 6. 6 subtract 7 gives us negative 1. And then finally f of 3, 3 times 3 gives us 9. 9 subtract 7 gives us 2. And then I want to go back and plot these points that I found in my table. Negative 2, negative 13 will not fit on my graph because my grid lines only go to negative 8. So I'm also not going to be able to fit negative 1, 10, but it's good to know that it continues on even on the points we can't fit on a line. So we'll remember to put arrows on our line. So I'm going to start with 0, negative 7. That's right here. And plot that point, and then 1. So go to positive 1, go right 1, and then down 4 for 1, negative 4. And 2, negative 1. So start at my origin. I would go right 2, down 1 to plot that point. And then the next point to plot is 3, 2. So I go right 3, up 2. And then line up a straight edge. You could fold a piece of paper or use the edge of a book, or you can use a ruler. Line up your straight edge along those lines and draw your line. Be sure to include the arrows because it does continue on. These are just the points we could fit on this grid, but there are more points that would make this equation true. Okay, now in number 2, f of x equals negative 3/4 times x plus 6. So since I'm going to be multiplying x by a fraction where the denominator is 4, I'm going to choose multiples of 4. So looking at that denominator of 4, I'm going to choose multiples of 4. Remember, we want to have some negative numbers, some positive numbers, and 0. So I started with negative 8. So we're going to substitute negative 8 in for x. So I'm going to take negative 3/4 times negative 8. So a negative times a negative we know is positive. 8 divided by 4 would be 2, and then 2 times 3 gives us 6. So I have 6 plus 6, which gives us 12. Next, I'm going to use negative 4. Negative 3/4 times negative 4. Again, a negative times a negative is positive. If I take 4 divided by 4, I get 1, and then multiply that by 3, we get 3. 3 plus 6 gives us 9. F of 0, negative 3/4 times 0 would be 0. 0 plus 6 gives us 6. And then positive 4, negative 3/4 times positive 4 would be negative 3. Negative 3 add 6 gives us 3. And then I used 8. Negative 3/4 times 8 would give us negative 6. Negative 6 plus 6 gives us 0. And then lastly, 12. Negative 3/4 times 12 would be negative 9. Plus 6 gives us negative 3. So I'm going to graph the points that fit. So negative 4, 9, you go left 4 because it was -4, and then up 9 and plot a point. And the next point is 0, 6. So go over 0 and then up 6. And 4, 3, go right 4, up 3, and then 8, 0. Okay, and now I'm out of grid space. Line up your straight edge along those points and carefully draw your line. Make sure you include your arrows on the end.